What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here again. And another eventful day at Tottenham Hotspur. We're going to get into all the nitty gritty, what is going on today. And the transfer window, which seemed like a dream at the start, seeming like to turn into an absolute nightmare with what's going on. Failed attempt after failed attempt after failed attempt. Brian and Mbeumo it started with. Who else was after that? It's literally non-stop. It's been absolutely non-stop with the failed attempts in this window. The latest of a long queue, Piero Hincapie. And so Fabrizio Romano broke an exclusive this morning saying that Tottenham have approached Bayer Leverkusen for Piero Hincapie with a new proposal. Loan deal with an obligation to buy around 60 million euros, same value as the release clause, but to be paid from 2026. Hincapie wants to leave Bayer, and Tottenham have started discussing personal terms. Very quickly, that changed, and David Ornstein said that Arsenal are now working on Piero Hincapie for Bayer Leverkusen, subject to player exits. The defender has told us by his wish to leave. He is prioritising Arsenal move above others. Efforts ongoing to make fee more realistic than 60 million clause. Then Fabrizio said Arsenal have made official approach to Bayer Leverkusen for Piero Hincapie after the player's decision to leave. No official bid yet, but Arsenal it does depend on Kiwior exit, Porto on it, Zinchenko future. And then the best bit about it all, Ali Gold comes in after that and says Spurs prioritizing a number 10 and a winger in the remaining days of the window. Piero Hincapie does not appear to be a potential signing at this point. That is the biggest load of garbage I've ever heard in my life. Seriously. Can this window get more embarrassing? Not only are we actually making bids and denying it and trying to pull the wool over people's eyes, we just can't get targets in. It's absolute. I've never seen a more embarrassing window than this in my life. And now we've seen some embarrassing ones.
Yeah, it's like we're falling flat on our faces time after time. But someone just put in the chat, Gazumped FC. That's what it feels like at the moment with Tottenham. We're just constantly losing out on our top targets. And look, I don't believe for a minute we didn't look at Hincapie. I think we made an inquiry. We spoke to his camp, and he said he's in talks with Arsenal. And now we're basically running a PR campaign saying we're never interested. Yeah, I don't believe it. Unfortunately, I think that's probably what's happened. We don't want to be publicly embarrassed again like we did for the Eze deal so quickly after that's happened. So that's obviously that's got to be the public line. For me, obviously, I'd love Hincapie. I'm not like, and I'd love him in the club right now, and I think it'd be a phenomenal signing. He's not a priority for me right now, to be honest. Like, we need to get number 10 in. I'll probably rather a winger as well. When it comes to defenders, it's a weird thing. When it comes to defenders, I think the fact we got Frank in, I feel some of the defenders we already have are going to be, like, you're already seeing a difference in Romero, Van de Ven, where they got a bit of protection and stuff like that. I think some of the defenders we already had will probably do a better job anyway under Frank. I'm not saying we don't need improvements. I'm not saying we don't need upgrades. But people like, for example, when Gray plays fullback, is he going to look a lot more comfortable now than he would have under Ange last season when he was probably asked to do maybe a lot more? Like, I think Frank is very creative when it comes to finding solutions. When it comes to the forward line, though, you need that quality. It's a lot harder to coach a player to be good offensively than it is to coach a player to be good defensively. And I think Frank is a very good coach. So obviously I want an upgrade, but I'm less worried about bringing a defender in between now and the end of the window than I am about bringing an attacker and a number 10. Because you can't coach like that vision and passing range into a player like you can coach a player to play fullback for a few games. You know what I mean? So I think as much as I'm, if it's true we're going for Hincapie and we've been gazumped, I'm not happy about it. But for me, as long as we get a number 10 and a winger, that's what I care about most. But it's obviously not great to be gazumped yet again for another target.
It's embarrassing, mate. It's absolutely embarrassing. And you know, whether me or you think we need it or think it's a priority, Frank clearly wants one. It's been on the list pretty much since we started the window, and whoever we seem to go for is just rejecting us left, right, and saying, how many rejections can we take this window? How many gazumpings by Arsenal, of all teams, Arsenal, in this window? It's been nothing short of embarrassing. And look, in terms of the targets that we need, left winger number 10 and a centre-back / hybrid left-back. Yeah, fine, it's number 3, but it doesn't mean we don't need them, in my opinion. I think for a unbelievable window, for a really good window, we need all 3. Like, look, it's becoming evident that we're not going to get all 3. They've got to be, yeah, like, what are we going to get? Are we going to get a left winger at all? Are we going to get a number 10? At least they were trying to get someone of quality, you know. I've been wanting Piero Hincapie through the door for the last couple of years. Doesn't seem like that's going to happen now. It's going to have to be the pain of watching him play for Arsenal, like it was for Calafiori. You know, we were twerking for Calafiori, and then he ended up in an Arsenal shirt. So it looked like this is going to be exactly the same. But look, at the end of the day, I'm just so frustrated with, like, I can't even think about, like, oh yeah, Archie Gray is going to play right back. We can coach Frank's system. We can coach better defending. Like, they wanted one. They've wanted one all summer. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't look like we're going to get one. So again, we're being sold short once again.
Look, and I say I want one, and I think we'll be much better off for it. I'm just more worried about not getting a number 10 or a winger than I am about not getting defenders, even though we still need one. Look, at the end of the day, we ain't going to get all 3 of those players. We've left ourselves with too little time. We need to do too much to do in the window when it comes to outgoings as well. I'm resigned to the fact I don't think I think there's a quite remote possibility we're getting a defender or a winger. I think we're going to go for number 10 because we know that we literally don't have one, and even if we panic buy one, I think we're going to get one. And I think I don't know who it's going to be, but I think a number 10 will definitely be here between now and the end of the window. But when it comes to a winger and a defender, I don't know where we'll get one, to be honest. I can see Tottenham just giving trust in the wingers that we have rather than panic buying a winger. I can see that being a possibility. It's a weird time being a Tottenham fan right now because everything on the pitch gets you excited about what the future holds. And what we're seeing, you know, with the first few games is very, you know, the results Frank's getting and what he's showing tactically and all this kind of stuff. It's exciting. It's exciting what potentially he can achieve. But then it's all the off the pitch stuff that's just causing frustration and panic, I guess. And that is just it's just a weird place to be where every time we play it seems as though like everyone's like happy again, and then in between games everyone's just panicking constantly. It's just a weird time.
But that at the end, like the off the pitch stuff, like it's all great. First 2 games of the season, PSG, we've looked brilliant. But the off the pitch stuff usually does, especially when it's a transfer window, it's gonna hurt the team in the long run.
It'll catch up with you. That's what we're worried about.
It always does. Every time we have a shit show in the transfer window, it always catches up with us at some point in the season. Last summer, or Angie's first summer, when we got rid of Davinson Sanchez after the transfer window shut, we were like, oh yeah, we're desperate for a centre back. No, but it's cool. We got Cuti Romero and Mickey van de Ven. Surely not both of them are going to get injured. Like if they both get injured, yeah, we're screwed. But if we've got one of them at least, you know, we should have enough cover. And lo and behold, what happens? Both of them get injured. So I mean, these things always come to bite us in the arse every single time.
Yeah, well, that's the PTSD of a Spurs fan. And yeah, what's quite interesting though is the bid for Hincapie was 60 million in with a loan with an obligation to buy. Does that imply that we're basically holding off on paying that 60 million for next season because we want to go a bit bigger in these last week now to get these players in? I guess you could read it that way when it comes to the bid that we put in.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I first saw it. That the funds for this summer is put aside for the forward line. But still, like you're thinking about it now, like what kind of players in the forward line can we even bring in? Like everyone, all the targets that we wanted to go for at the beginning of the window are gone. They're panicking around, and we'll get into the update in a bit about the players that we have been going for. But they're panicking around, throwing away bids and putting forward bids for players that don't even want to come. Like no groundwork has been laid for the players that we're going for now, and it just seems like we're just panicking and just sending out bids left, right, and centre, just seeing whatever can stick.
Well, when all your first choice targets get gobbled up, that's where it's left us, and we're chasing our tails at the moment, trying to figure out how do we get a player that's going to improve the team in such short notice when we spent a month haggling over Gibbs White and trying to get that done, and that fell flat. We spent nearly close to a month, same with Eze. So we've wasted all this time on two players, and we should have got more clarification and moved on quicker on both of these occasions, and we didn't. We've screwed up on both of them, and now here we are, a week away from the end of the window, and we've got so much to do, incomings and outgoings. It's crazy.
Yeah, and like we talk about Spurs trying to save face, trying to come out and trying to spin it in a way that Spurs have not gone for Piero Hincapie. I mean, that makes it even more embarrassing. They're even just trying to save embarrassment, which actually makes it more embarrassing. So, I mean, this window has literally turned into a nightmare. It promised so much at the beginning, just like that week where we got the here we go for Kudus and Morgan Gibbs-White. Just seems like a lifetime ago.
I know. And for that point, it seemed as though was there real change? Are we starting to sign big players, starting to spend big money? But here we are, a week left, and we have so much to do, so many holes to fill in the squad. And we've only signed Kudus and Paulinho. That's all we've signed in the window, really. One, again, I mean, look, they're both good signings.
Don't forget Kota Takai.
Yeah, I mean, Frank forgot him, so I think I can forget him. We're sitting here with those two signings. Frank said himself, in terms of that size of the squad, like it's not too dissimilar to last season. It's 2 out, 2 in. He seems like we need a few more faces here. So it's just Tottenham Hotspur all over again. You never know when they're next going to embarrass you. It can happen at any moment. And here we are. I didn't expect it to be embarrassed by Hincapie today, but here we are. Within a day, we've got another fucking hijack.
Every day that goes on, it just gets worse and worse. Like the embarrassment just gets more and more. And we're sitting here now, a week to go. We're 1 week to go till the transfer window shuts. We have no 10. Not one in the squad that we can call upon. We're using Pape Matar as a 10. And don't get me wrong, he's doing a brilliant job at this moment in time. But he can't do it all season. We can't rely on Pape in the 10 all season. Is that what it's come to?
Well, we're trying to get one, clearly. But
they're not doing a good job of it, though, are they?
Well, obviously not. They're not doing a good enough job. But I'm just saying that when you're saying is that what it's come to, it's not like we're not trying to not make that be the case. It's not like we've accepted that is the case. You know what I mean?
That's what we are. We've tried FC. That's what there's been.
I agree with you. I'm just saying it's not like
every single year.
I don't think Tottenham are accepting that situation. Is my point. But we're failing to rectify it.
Absolute joke, man. The people at the top running this football club can't organise a bloody piss up in a brewery. These people, seriously, I'm just getting so frustrated with it all. And like after the Eze thing, like I wasn't even that annoyed because it's just like the same shit happening all over again. But now I'm just starting to get really frustrated. Just like there's not even much talk. The only talk are people rejecting us. That's all the talk is. Yeah, well, Ali Gold said in his article today, there's a few targets that's to be believed on our list that haven't hit the public domain yet. So, look, let's see what happens. I think the priorities are that number 10 and winger, and if we can get those in, I think I'll be a bit more content. But it's a tall order now. Tall order. We are running out of time. Each day passes, the likelihood of us doing the business we need to gets less and less. Yeah, we just got to hope and pray that we can bring someone in, one or two in, with the required quality that can kick us on this season. But that's the situation on Piero Hincapie. Let's move on to a Tottenham update and see what else has been going on. Who else we've been rejected by this summer or in the last 24 hours. And the first player that we're going to talk about is Nico Pats of Como. Fabrizio Romano dropped an exclusive yesterday saying that Tottenham have bid 70 million euro package for Nico Pats, and it's been turned down by Como. Paz wants to stay at Como with a view of a Real Madrid future. Real were going to match any proposal in any case. Real have a 10 million euro buyback clause in 2026, but will compensate Como in future. And then he said later on that Real Madrid had a big role in stopping Nico Pats' proposal worth 70 million from Tottenham. Real are happy with Pat staying at Como this season, but his move to Madrid in summer 2026 is increasingly likely. He's expected to join Real Madrid next season. So, yeah. Well, what can you do if a player's got an impending move to Real Madrid in a year's time? He's not exactly going to join Tottenham, is he? But surely you'd put the feelers out there and see if that's the case before putting in a bid.
Yeah, and it seems as though, I don't know, who knows if we actually put in a bid or not. There's some reports saying we did, but it was known. I mean, a lot of the people who were reporting on this bid said that Spurs knew it was going to be a complicated bid and a complicated deal to do. It seems as though there was never any chance we were ever going to get this one done. That was the impression that I got before we made this bid, that it was going to be one of those deals. It's just ultimately Spurs are not going to be able to get this done because Pats and Madrid and all these different moving parts. And then now it turns out Madrid want him anyway for themselves. A lot of the time, like I remember when we had Reguilon and stuff, like there was a fear, Madrid are going to get active their buyback clause, all this kind of stuff, and then the price is going to go up. But it seems as though Madrid actually want them for themselves next season. So if Madrid told them, look, you spend another year developing, and then you're going to be part of the first team, why the hell would he move to Tottenham in that circumstance? So at the end of the day, this one was non-starter, it seems. And it seems to go again. I think we were linked with him before the Eze thing. So it seems as though we probably knew about this. We knew about something because we never really went for it before the Eze one. We pulled out. So it seems as though we've just basically done a Hail Mary. I think if I remember rightly, the bid that we were talking about before we went for Eze was like 40 million or something, or 50 million. So they've obviously done a Hail Mary. They've gone for a big 70 million euro bid just to see, can anything happen? Pats has said no. And that kind of leaves me with the impression of how we're running this transfer window at the moment. And that makes me worried because it seems to me we've done a Hail Mary bid for a player we know we're not getting. And if that's where we are a week to go, that's worrying. Massively.
And you're thinking about number 10s that have been on the kind of rumour list throughout the window. I think we've worked through the list now. There's only one left, isn't it? It's Akalush. Apart from him, I think we've been rejected or gazumped by everyone else.
Yeah, pretty much. And look, maybe there hasn't been much talk about him, but maybe all the rejections that's going to come up again. There's obviously talk of a hijack for Bilal, but look, I've got a feeling there's another name that hasn't come up yet. I don't think it's going to be one of these names where, like, he comes up, is like, who is this guy? And then we look into him, and like everyone's saying he's sick, and we'll sign him for 25, 30 million, and we'll see how good he is. And I think there's a name that hasn't come up yet that's going to come to the fore. Someone in the chat says Nkunku, he's still available, isn't he? I wouldn't be surprised if you make a deadline day loan move for him.
Yeah, apparently Aston Villa are looking at him at this moment in time.
Simons hasn't gone to Chelsea yet.
The Bilal thing is interesting because he looked all set to go, didn't he, to Palace to replace Eze a few days ago, and that's gone really quiet. There has been talk about Spurs potentially looking to hijack. It has been a player that we've been linked to over the last couple of weeks. I think there could be some groundwork being laid in the background for him.
Yeah, I think there's a look at this point. I think we're looking at. I think we've clearly lowered our standards, if you know what I mean. I'm not saying Bilal's a bad player. This isn't me saying he's rubbish or anything like that. I'm sure he's a talented, promising player. And he played for a very, very bad Leicester team last season. So getting away from that. So it's hard to judge him fully on that. But at this point, clearly, for me, we just got to get someone in. Like we got to get someone who we think is good. Yes, I think the whole proven thing has to go out the window in terms of Prem proven. That's not going to happen. You're just going to have to. You look. They're going to have to do their jobs. They're going to have to find the next guy they really believe could be a massive hit, and they're going to have to basically be ahead of the game. They're going to have to be ahead of the competition when it comes to finding someone who they believe is undervalued in the market and can really do a job straight away, who a lot of people are overlooked. And that's what recruitment's paid to do. They're paid to scout. They're paid to find value where other people maybe don't see it. They're going to have to do their job. It's very easy. I can get hired tomorrow and say, yeah, let's go for Eze. That isn't recruitment. That's just anyone can do that. Anyone could say, yeah, let's go for Gibbs White. That's not them doing their job. That's Frank saying I want a 10 and them going for one of the most proven ones on the market right now. That's recruitment and scouting and coming up with Eze and Gibbs White. That's not what they're paid for. They're paid to find the gems. So they got to find one.
Yeah, I mean Bilal could fall into that category. Like I said on a number of occasions, I've been impressed with him. I think he's a very good player. I think he's a very creative player. The question mark about him is he too lightweight? That's obviously a massive question mark on him. But I think every other aspect, from how creative he is, his passing level, him being a number 10 in the Premier League, I think it could work, to be honest. And I think we'll see what happens. And the price, I think what they're talking about, 22 million release clause for him. So it could be
I think Palace agreed like 30 million or something. Didn't it expire?
Right.
But anyway,
he really wants to leave, and you can get a decent fee for him. Yeah.
So look, at this moment, if you tell him if you offer me right now, we'll get Bilal, and that's it. I'm like, I'm taking it, because with the week to go, we're faced with the prospect of not getting anyone. So I'm taking Bilal.
Yeah. Imagine you saying that when we got the Here We Go for Morgan Gibbs White.
Yeah.
But look, I've said this on a number of times this window. Why are we not looking at Lee Kang-in?
100%.
Why are we not looking at him?
I agree. Why? Sorry. Why aren't we? Look, I think when it comes to Levy, his eyes should be lighting up with this deal.
Yeah.
Lee Kang-in replaces the Korean's appetite for a Korean at Spurs. Obviously, he keeps that gravy train rolling, and he's a great player. You saw when he came on in the Super Cup, changed the game, brilliant goal. He's not a fixture in the team at the moment at PSG for one reason or another. It's like they don't really play with the number 10, do they? They kind of play with those just three very creative like centre mids, and they just get their front three to do all the work. So there's not really a place for him. I think he fits the bill. He's got a fantastic left foot, very creative. He's the kind of profile we're looking at as well. Like, and the price they're talking about, between 40 and 50 million euros. I mean, it's not crazy. So
should be a no-brainer. If he's willing to come and he's looking to leave PSG, it should be an absolute no-brainer to go get him. Really should.
Maybe it's one of those that haven't hit the public domain, like Ali Gold saying. Who knows?
Yeah, let's hope so. We can only pray, eh? Next up, let's talk about the Savinho deal. There's been so much development on this one since we first heard his name in the press. Fabrizio Romano says that Tottenham will try until the end to get the Savinho done. Tottenham are willing to go over £60 million. And then later on today, he said Tottenham are prepared to pay over €70 million to get Savinho. They have made this clear today. The deal happening now hinges on whether or not Man City can find
a replacement. Yeah. We've heard this so many times. Bloody hell.
Yeah. And Ben Jacobs pretty much says the same thing. So
Groundhog Day.
Do these guys not get bored of just saying the same thing over and over again?
They have no shame.
It's the same thing over and over again. It doesn't stop.
They haven't even bothered rewording it anymore. It's just to say they're just literally, you might as well copy and paste their tweets.
Copy and paste job, yeah.
Literally more copy and paste. It's ridiculous. I mean, how many times can I say the same thing? I really don't think it's happening. Unless there's a late twist Rodrigo, and maybe Man City lower their demands. Again, I really don't see Tottenham. Maybe 60. I don't see Tottenham spending. I don't see Tottenham putting a club record bid in for him. Maybe now, to be fair, because he's been embarrassed so much. Maybe they'll feel that desperation and do it. But before, definitely when we were in Eze, I didn't see them doing it. We'll see this week. I just, maybe Arsenal are going to come in and gazump him. That's what people are saying. Saka got injured yesterday. So there's always that fear. But I want this to happen. But again, it hasn't moved. Doesn't seem as though Rodrigo's going to Man City. And if that doesn't happen, I don't see Tottenham getting him. So this is a deal that could be completely out of our control. And again, it's very possible we could be wasting the whole week trying to get this done when there's a possibility that it was never possible.
Yeah. Again, for the millionth time this transfer.
I'd move on. I would have moved on a week ago, man. Just move on. I don't think this is happening.
So depressing. It really is so depressing. Like, what more can we say that hasn't been said on the Savinho situation?
Although Dean Soccer just said, he's not reliable, but he says Tottenham are getting close on a deal for Savinho.
Who says that?
Yeah, he said the only obstacle is that no fee has been agreed. That was Dean Jones Soccer.
Dean Jones, my goat.
Oh no, that was yesterday. Forget it. Forget that.
Yeah, look, we'll have to see how this one materializes, but it's not looking good at this moment in time. Now we bring you more situation on Morgan Rogers of Aston Villa, as Peter O'Rourke says that Tottenham are readying a sensational late window move for Aston Villa star Morgan Rogers. Spurs have held preliminary discussions over a potential deal for the attacking midfielder at the age of 23. A sensational deal in the last week of the window for Morgan Rogers.
Yeah, 50 million plus 10 million add-ons. That'll be swiftly rejected, and we'll say we tried. It'll be the we tried gimmick. That's what it'll be. We ain't getting Morgan Rogers. I can guarantee you that for free. No chance we get Morgan Rogers over the line. They're going to want 100. Their starting price is going to be 100 million.
Yeah,
that's going to be their starting price, and they're going to be starting price, and then maybe they'll hope to get 80 plus 10 or something. Like, it's just going to be figures that are just going to be so astronomically out of our price range. Like, I don't know why we're bothering. Like, it's just no point.
But it's the same. Like, I know it's not exactly the same, but like when we went for Mark Gehi, last day of the window for 70 million, like, it's just deals that you just know it's just never going to happen. Like, why would Aston Villa sell their best player to us in the last week of the window when they think we're supposed to be like direct rivals in the league going for European competition? Like, it's just a complete waste of time.
Basically, it's just not going to happen. It's just Morgan Rogers is not going to be a Tottenham player when the window closes. It's just not in a million years. They're not going to sell. We might go for 60 or 70 million. They're not going to sell. They're not.
Yeah,
we've got a contract till 2030. Got a long contract. It's just there's no point even. I don't know why we're even bothering.
If we're even bothering, it could be just media kind of speculation. But I guess the reason that they're bothering,
we're desperate.
Yeah, the reason that they're bothering is because we're so desperate, and they're just going for anyone and anyone. Morgan Rogers is obviously an unbelievable player, and I'd love to see him at the club, but it's just a pipe dream. It's just never going to happen.
Yeah.
You
believe he has a choice between 30 million for Bilal and 90 million for Rogers? He's choosing Rogers. Not in a million years.
Yeah, 100%. And last but not least, we're going to talk about Yves Bissouma, as Peter O'Rourke says that West Ham are exploring a move for out-of-favour Tottenham midfielder Yves Bissouma in the final weeks of the transfer window. Graham Potter has worked with Bissouma at Brighton, and a number of clubs are keeping tabs on the Mali international. And Graham Bailey says that Tottenham are working really hard to move Yves Bissouma on this summer, and West Ham could now be an option. Now, if West Ham are an option, can we do a sort of deal for Paqueta?
I'd like to think so, but I think the meltdown. Look, he told us Kudus. I would love to get Paqueta through the door. I think he's another one where he's clearly a bit. I don't know if it's disillusioned, but he's not doing it at the moment for West Ham. And we saw last season the whole betting thing really got to him. He was crying on the pitch after getting a booking against Spurs. So look, that's all behind him now. He's been found not guilty. But now he's playing for a team who are all over the place, conceded 8 goals in their first 2 games, and could be in the midst of a relegation battle. If I'm Paquetá, this is a guy who 2 years ago was on the brink, if it wasn't for these betting charges, was on the brink of getting moving to Man City. They had a bid in, and that was potentially all agreed. They were just waiting to see if this betting charge is going to go through. So this is a very talented player. Don't let people convince you that just because he had a bad year at West Ham that he ain't good. He's very good. He's a very good player, and we would be lucky to have him. But look, maybe he feels like West Ham stood by him through the betting thing, and he's going to stand by West Ham now. Maybe that's a case for it. West Ham, obviously, we know they've just sold us Kudus. They're already talking about protesting everything again. If they add Paquetá to the list, I mean, I don't know if Sullivan will be able to leave his house if they do that. So, again, I just find it too difficult to do. But these West Ham owners also do seem to be a bit soulless. So, never say never. But I just find it hard to believe that we'll ever get a deal like this done after getting Kudus. Maybe if we hadn't got Kudus, maybe, but we have. So.
Yeah, I also find it hard to believe, but I think it's something that we should test the waters with, just because we know what these West Ham owners are like. They are terrible, man. We all complain about Levy and Enoch and stuff like that, but I mean, as much as I don't like them, and I think we need to change, I much prefer them than bloody Sullivan and Brady. That's for sure. Like,
yeah, you're right about
these West Ham owners are one of the worst in the Premier League. They've already sold us Kudus at a discount. Why not try and see if we can get a Paquetá off them as well?
Well, you know what? With a week to go, I'll test the waters for anyone. Just go for anyone at the moment. Why not? Try it. We've got a week. It's not like we have long to be sounding out targets. We got to be going. So make a bid. Why not?
I'll tell you, Paquetá is a lot more likely than Morgan Rogers. I'll tell you that for free.
I agree with that.
So, yeah, look, that's where we're at. There was another report as well on Brian Hill, which I can't actually quite believe that he's still at the football club, but he is. And the report was from a Spanish journalist, and he says that Girona want Brian Hill, but want him for free, and that's it. I thought that was
hilarious. Hasn't Hill played number 10 before?
Yeah.
We've been so blown away by Hill in training, we decided we don't need number 10.
Yeah, except he's not training because he's injured.
But there's potential in training.
Yeah, I mean, look, 1 year left in his deal. We're not getting any money for him, so we may as well just let him go.
100%. We've been trying to get rid of him for many, many years, and we just haven't been able to. So, let him go on a free. Just let him start his career. The fact that he's continuously chained to Tottenham, I don't think is helping anyone. Not because he's a bad person or anything like that. It's not. We're looking to just shrink the squad a bit. He's looking to really kickstart his career because it's just stagnated and hasn't gone in the direction you hoped. I think a clean break is what's needed.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is your Tottenham update. That is everything that's been doing the rounds on the press in the last 24 hours. And sitting here 25th of August, we're still completely in the dark, not knowing what the hell is going on. Surely they've got to be working on stuff in the background that we don't know about, and hopefully we'll hear something soon. But as of now, it is just absolutely dire straits, really.
I'm sure they are working on stuff, but whether it all comes off, that's the question. How many times have we been in this position and, late in the window, when we're making all these bids and we're doing all this, and because it's just too late, and people some teams put their prices up at this point in the window, especially for if you're going for players who weren't previously for sale, then it's going to be even more difficult than it would have been early in the window to get who we need to get and who we want. So for me, I'm sure they're trying. I'm sure they're scrambling around, and they are probably making inquiries, and there's stuff going on in the background. I guarantee, and we'll probably hear about some of it. But whether we actually get any of it done, that's what I think everyone's worried about, and rightly so. I think you're right to be worried about we'll actually get anything done right now, because I think back in the day, where Levy really made his name is all these late deals, and I think back in the day, like people used to lower their prices a lot later on the window when they wanted to sell and get the money. I think nowadays, especially when you're dealing with Premier League teams, all these Premier League teams really, most of them have money. I know there's PSR and stuff, but most of them are not like it used to be, where a lot of the smaller teams are like struggling for money, like it used to be. Like, so also nowadays, you know, when it comes to late in the window, everyone's upping their prices now, and now because the risk for them to not bring anyone in is bigger, and it's harder. So that's the state of play usually nowadays. So now if we're going to Monaco now, maybe early in the window, you know, they'll be more willing to do a deal with us. But now it's late in the window, they're probably going to put their price up for Akalush. Like it's going to be harder for them to replace. Like obviously there are some deals, but that lower the price. That's usually they lower the price for players they want to sell. Like I'm sure Bissouma, we've probably lowered the price now because we want to sell him and we haven't been able to get rid of him. But for players that we want, we don't want to buy players who teams want to sell because they're not good enough, right? We want to sign players that are starting for their team and they're good players. And those are the players we're looking at. And right now they're probably upping the price for these players because it's so late in the window.
Yeah. And there was that exact report from, I know it's not to do with Spurs, but ex-West Ham employees, obviously, you know, in the know in West Ham. And obviously West Ham are also scrambling around at this moment in time to try and bring players in to help their situation. And he said, you know, all clubs are just upping their price at this moment in time, and it's a difficult situation. I do think this last week in the window is going to be a bit nuts. I think there are a lot of teams still looking to do business. But the poor thing for us is that all our targets have gone, and we are going to need to find some outside of the box solutions if we're going to get that number 10 in, if we're going to get that winger in. And I'm starting to think it might not even happen.
As I said, I think looking at the state of this, looking at the squad, I do think that we'll get a number 10. And I think even if we panic buy one, I think we will get one because we literally don't have one right now. So I think the risk to reward of not getting one in is too great. I don't think that's the case with a winger and a defender. I think there's a very slim chance we get either of those, to be honest, unless like something really is happening with Savinho, which I really don't think there is. I don't think he's coming. I think it's probably Savinho or bust for a winger, to be honest. I don't know if we go for another one. And I think we might. I think where we might split the difference is maybe we'll sign like an Akalush type who can play wing and can play in the number 10, and maybe we will make the argument it kind of covers both positions. That's classic Levy. I think we'll get maybe one signing. I don't see us getting 3. I don't even see us getting 2, to be honest. I think it'll be a player who's predominantly number 10 who can play on the wing. That's what I think we'll get. That's probably what I see us doing. And even if it's a panic buy, I can see us doing it because we literally don't have a number 10 right now. So we need to get someone just to play that role. And if it's someone the scouting says is good, then it's worth going. Even if it's someone a bit unproven in a foreign league, I think we'll do it.
Do you have any predictions or anything of who you think it will be?
My prediction would be I think it's someone we haven't heard of yet, and I think it's going to be someone in a foreign league, and I think it's going to be someone that we don't know who they are.
I do have a bit of a feeling that we're going to bring in Bilal. I just think it feels like a deal like we've been gazumped so many times this window. I feel like Levy's dying to gazump someone, and I think Palace are going to be that team. But I just feel like it's a deal that's there to be done. You know,
easy deal to be done.
Yeah, he'll prefer to join us than Crystal Palace. He's a decent enough player. He can potentially make a difference. But then again, you got to look at the AFCON where he's going to be going, and probably Pape is going to be going as well. So that will leave us without a 10 for that period.
Maybe Decky will be back by then. Who knows? But yeah,
December. Don't know.
Well, it's January is AFCON, no?
Yeah, but I mean, Decky might be back training, but is he going to be able to play? Like, I doubt it.
I don't know. Yeah, who knows? Is that a reason not to get him? I don't know.
No, it's not. I mean, well, in actual fact, if we were actually serious then probably it is, and we would go for someone serious like Lee Kang-in. But at this moment in time, I'm taking it. But
Yeah,
look,
I want Lee. Oh yeah, I would love Lee Kang-in. You know what? Something tells me as well. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a deadline day move for Lookman. That wouldn't shock me. That wouldn't shock me. He's a player who's available, decent goal scoring record, can play on the wing. I wouldn't be surprised if we go for someone like him as well. If we are to go for a winger, that wouldn't surprise me. But again, he's AFCON as well, Nigerian.
is he a Nigerian international? Yeah, he is, isn't he?
Yeah. Don't know if they've qualified or not.
They must have done. I mean, they're brilliant, aren't they, Nigeria? I mean, they're not the team that they used to be when they used to have the canoes and stuff, but
Don't know who it is. Lily White Leak says Savinho deal is off. I don't know who he is, though.
Sounds about right. I'm just trying to see if they did qualify Nigeria. Yeah, they did.
Poseidon Spurs journal says Spurs turn their attention to Rodgers. Villa would need an extortionate bid to sell this late in the window. Akilush also remains under consideration. However, Monaco's asking price has significantly increased in recent days.
because they just sold Ben Seguir, so they don't really need to sell.
That's what I'm saying. Everyone's upping their price now.
Yeah. But look, if they want to be serious, just go bloody slap 85 down for Rodgers and see what happens.
Yeah, let's see how serious we are.
If they actually want to be serious, and if they want to bring in the required quality, that's what you do right now. And don't tell me they don't have the money to do it, because they do.
I know how Levy thinks. He would rather not. He would rather bring no one in than bring Rodgers in for 85. I promise you that.
Well, he's an idiot if he thinks that.
I promise you that.
Rodgers significantly adds, improves the quality of this squad by such a big margin. What a player he is, man!
Yeah,
and he's worth that money. He's worth that money, in my opinion. 85 million.
We ain't slapping 85 on Rodgers. It's just not happening.
I know we're not, but I'm just saying, if we were a serious club, we would do it.
Yep. And that's the thing, though. What Poseidon said on Akilush, I think is going to be the case for a lot of players. Maybe look, Harvey Elliott hasn't moved anywhere. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he's someone we make a late move for.
I'll take Harvey Elliott. I'll take him.
I'll take anyone we've discussed right now. Anyone we've discussed, I'm taking right now, because I'm worried.
50 million for Harvey Elliott sounds like a good deal right now.
Yep.
It's definitely an overpayment. But
we look, anyone we go for, I think we're going to have to overpay at this point. That's the reality. Yeah. And we have to be comfortable with that fact. Otherwise, we're going to have to be comfortable not bringing anyone in.
Yeah. A couple of super chats here. That's a good point, actually. Me and football talking about Kobe Mainu. I know he's not like an out and out 10, but I don't think he's appeared for Man United in the first 2 games, has he? This season?
No, he didn't come on yesterday. There's rumours, TalkSport saying he would be open to leaving before the end of the season, before the end of the window. Sorry. I mean, at this point, look, I don't think he's a pure number 10, but could he play? I think he could play the role different. Obviously, he's going to be very different the way he plays it to like a Maddison, but I think he could fit in there potentially. Like, he's good dribbler. He showed at times, that goal against Wolves, remember, he nutmegged someone and curled it far corner. And that goal, he scored a great goal against Liverpool. So, like, he's got it in him. I don't know what happened last season. He went from starting to the Euro final, and then Amorim just doesn't fancy him, does he? Don't know why. But
I would take him. 100% I'll take him. And you know what? I've said no to this player all summer. His name's being mentioned in the live chat now, but Garnacho. I'll take Garnacho now as well. I really would.
Yeah, why not? Screw it.
I would take Garnacho. Like,
I mean,
the problem hasn't been he's got quality.
I guess. Bring me Garnacho. Bring me.
You'll have Garnacho and you'll be happy.
And I'll be happy, exactly. And you enjoy it. Oh, God. You may why do I also it wouldn't shock me at all if we make a late move for Damsgaard. That would not shock me at all.
Surely that would I think if we were to make a move for Damsgaard, we are going to have to massively overpay for Damsgaard with the losses that they've taken, the hits that they've taken this summer.
Yeah, but so player Frank knows he was brilliant against Villa on the weekend. He's just a player that we know can basically do what Frank needs him to do. He's done it all the last season. So I think if Frank tells Levy, go get me Damsgaard, I wouldn't be surprised if we make a move for him.
I'll take it. I like Damsgaard. I think he's a really good player. I've always been impressed. I thought he had a great season last year for Brentford. Plays the 10, knows what Frank wants out of him. Yeah, I think it'd be a really good move, but I just can't see that happening.
It's not so much. What's one more player, eh?
Yeah. Some super chats here. One from North Moroccan saying Fabrizio's on fraud watch.
Absolutely.
I mean, Fabrizio, man.
He's a fraud, man. He just says the same thing. I'm telling you. Sometimes he'll come out with an exclusive, but when you're seeing just the regurgitation and aggregation he puts out every day, you can ignore 90% of his tweets. I'm telling you, you can ignore 90% of them. All of them are just regurgitation or just nonsense. Like only if he says "here we go" or the word "exclusive," then take notice. Everything else is jargon. I'm telling you.
Well, he gave us an exclusive today on Hincapie. Look how that worked out.
Yeah, that was probably true.
That was true. For sure, it was true. All right, the next super chat is from the Jorical. Big up to you, Jory. He goes, spot on sim. We tried. Levy sabotage. Never intended to sign Eze, so Levy drags it out. He knows Savinho is impossible, so he drags it on. He wants bargains with sell-on value and sabotages everything else.
I mean, the evidence, I would say, isn't what's it called? The evidence points in that direction. Put it that way. You can make a lot of evidence for that. I don't know if he intentionally drags out moves to sabotage them, but he definitely drags them out. That's definitely true, and it does end up sabotaging our window. So that's also true. But is it intentional? You can make if you can put in nefarious motives on it if you want. I don't know if I believe that, but I definitely think, regardless of whether the intention or not, it's still nowhere near good enough.
Yeah. And if it's not intention, it's bloody impressive how many deals he bungles. Then you know what I mean.
Or if it's not intention, it's incompetence.
Yeah, 100%.
So either one is bad.
Brandon Troller says Ericsson as a break glass in case of an emergency. Shout.
I'll take it right now. Bring Ericsson home.
How old is Ericsson?
What, 32? No, to be honest, forget Ericsson. But I don't know.
Anyone else?
Bring back Donnelly. I'm at that stage already. Rip up the loan. Bring him back.
There must be such panic behind the scenes at Tottenham right now. There must be, unless Levy's probably going to go on a holiday to the Bahamas tomorrow or something. You know what I mean? When's Ali Gold next got a holiday? That's what I want to know.
Apparently, he doesn't have one coming up anytime soon.
Oh, God.
Yeah, really.
Is that actually a thing? Does he report that now? When my holiday?
Someone asked him. Yeah. He said not soon. He's going to be working this whole week. Bloody Ali Gold. Can't take one for the team.
Can someone just tell him to go on holiday?
Someone pay for his holiday. Someone send him. Send him somewhere. Kidnap him and put him on holiday.
Yeah.
I'm just very disillusioned about what this last week is going to bring for us. I'm not confident that we're going to be happy with how it ends.
But hey ho, we got we're second in the league, 2 wins out of 2, no goals conceded, 3 out of 3 wins hopefully this weekend. So it's not
It's
all
weird.
doom.
It's weird. We're playing well. Frank had a great start. Like there is like when you just focus on the team and the manager, there's a lot to be happy about. And there is a lot to be excited about. And even if we don't get anyone in, like I don't think we're going to have a season like last season. Put it that way. Like I'm confident in what Frank's doing. He's already shown he can do a lot with what we have.
Yeah.
But he also showed you give him that little bit extra, who knows what we can achieve. And that's what the frustrating thing is. You can just see it already. You just need to give him as many weapons that he can use as possible. And at the moment, he's doing well, and he's very flexible and he's very unpredictable. So that helps, especially right now. But we're clearly missing certain things, and you just got to give those things to him.
Yeah. MB with the super chat says Antonio Nusa. Frank wanted him at Brentford. I'd love Nusa to come in. He's
Leipzig, yeah.
He's done well at Leipzig.
He failed a medical, wasn't there? I don't know what happened with that.
Failed a medical for who?
Brentford.
Oh,
That's why he didn't move.
Well, yeah, but then he went to Leipzig and he's done pretty well.
Yeah, but I don't understand how he failed a medical at Brentford but not Leipzig. I don't really get that. But unless Brentford saw something that Leipzig didn't, unless Brentford overreacted to something. Paul says he's got a knee problem. So that means he'll probably fail a medical us.
Yeah, I mean, he had a period out injured last season, which kept him out from mid-February to mid-April. But apart from that, he was playing fairly consistent. 25 games in the
failing a medical doesn't mean you're always going to be injured, but it means there's a possibility that it can happen at any point.
What you failed the medical on, but yeah.
Yeah, like you can maybe manage it, but for a certain period. And then I remember there was a story about an Arsenal. Who told this story? I think it was about. I think Wenger told this story. He said he had a player, and he had a player come in for a medical, and he said the medical said this guy's going to be able to for the next year or so, he might be able to play, and then he's gonna struggle. And so he failed the medical. But Wenger said, I decided to sign him anyway, and then we just made the decision we're going to sell him after a year. I don't know who this player was. He claims that he was able to play the whole year, didn't get injured, and then they sold him, and he had massive injury problems after that and never really got over them. So it's interesting when it comes to it depends what the medical is.
Yeah. Apparently, Newcastle just had a £50 million bid rejected for Strand Larsen. I mean, as well, Newcastle was bloody struggling to bring in players as well.
Newcastle, West Ham, Villa. I mean, they're all massively struggling. It's a weird one at the moment. It's like all these big players who, I mean, not Villa. Villa haven't really had anyone reject them, but us and Newcastle, we've just been rejected left, right, and centre. We're both in the Champions League as well. I guess the problem is where when what we've had, I guess, this summer, when you get to the Champions League, you're like, all right, CL, we're part of the big boys, and maybe we've both had a bit of reality check of where we stand.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's just where we're at.
It's sad to say.
Yeah.
Then again, United fucking signed. Well, I guess it doesn't matter because they're United. That's the reality, yeah.
Well, let's just hope something. There's some glimmer there. We just have to see some glimmer of light, which we just can't see at this moment in time. Week to go. We'll obviously keep you updated as and when anything does happen. Hopefully, we'll be keeping you updated a lot in this week, but I'm not hopeful, people. But let us know.
I think there's going to be a lot of updates this week. I think there will be.
Yeah, for sure.
All of them about rejections, but yeah.
But I think that is it from us today. Let us know your thoughts on all things regarding Tottenham transfers in the comment section below. Who do you think is going to be that player that we bring in, or multiple? How many players do you think we're going to bring in, if any? Let us know down in the comment section. But like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, Spurs.